This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be used to substitute the advice from your medical professional or primary care provider. If you are having any kind of medical issue or emergency, you should call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room, urgent care center, or consult with your doctor.
Welcome to Healthcare Snitches. Welcome to Healthcare Snitches.
Welcome.
I'm not sure which episode number this is.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. Maybe y'all can tell us which episode this is. So welcome. Today is pretty special to me. We're having a special guest, and we're going to talk about breast disease and breast health and what her journey has been like. No, it's not Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it's still very important. And it's very important to me as well because I also have breast issues, and a lot of us do. So we are going to have a special guest today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about her journey to diagnosing the issues and resolving them, and where she is now and the steps she went through to kind of get to that point, right?
Yeah. Do you want to tell them about the subscribing?
Oh, yes. I'm like, no, I don't want to tell them. I'm like, my breast issues? That's a whole episode. But yeah, guys, so don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Healthcare Snitches. Turn on your alerts so you can get notified when we post new episodes, and also subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I already said YouTube, but do that, okay?
All right. Well, the person who's coming on is my Aunt Lisa, and we're just waiting for her to come on from backstage.
Yes.
There she goes. Hi, Aunt Lisa.
Hi. I think you have another tab open that's going to make you echo. It's okay.
Me?
Yeah, 2 Riversides, because from the time you joined before.
Got it.
Is she echoing?
No. No,
Okay.
she's not.
All right, they said issue.
Oh, because
I closed the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
It popped up and said something about an issue, so that's why I said that.
Well, welcome to Healthcare Snitches, Aunt Lisa.
Yes, welcome.
We appreciate you.
We're so happy to have you.
It's my favorite podcast.
And now people can put a face to you because I'm always talking about Aunt Lisa said, Aunt Lisa said, Aunt Lisa said.
And you're our first guest of honor, of course. So
you are, and one of our biggest supporters.
And my Capricorn sister.
Mm-hmm.
my two nieces. Yes. I got to be here to support.
All right. So let's just get on into it, Aunt Lisa.
I feel like you about to grill her. I don't know about it.
I do have quite a bit of questions here for you, but let us know what your journey has been like. I know that you have some breast issues, and so do I. I guess it runs in the family. And I just want to know, like, what has your biggest obstacle been? Okay, wait. First, before I get into that, I just want to give just a little bit of background. So Aunt Lisa is my father's sister, and she has been like a mother figure to me, a sister, a best friend, an aunt, my prayer warrior, you name it, the aunt has done it. And my grandmother, who is my Aunt Lisa's mom, died from breast cancer at the age of 56. She was diagnosed at 52, and she passed. So that makes you high risk because that was your mom. So what are some of the things that you've had to go through as being a daughter of someone who died from breast cancer?
So this has been a journey for me that started, my mom died when I was 14 years old. So they had me start the mammograms and all the screenings and stuff a lot earlier. So I think I started about 27. And having mammograms with huge breasts, getting
What
all,
size were they?
oh, I mean, at different times, at different sizes when I was different sizes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was, up to a 22 at one time, down to like a 8, 10, so as I ranged, as I grew, they grew. But, it's just been large from the beginning. And honestly, little tidbit, there's pictures of me in Pampers in a bottle with boobs.
I saw it. I think that
Wow.
you were like 6 months old and
Yeah.
your boobs were bigger than mine.
Yes.
What?
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I didn't know this.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the biggest
She's
thing
my
was,
sister too.
it was the uncomfortability of the mammogram machine. We all know how that is. But my mom was a nurse. So I'm into self-care and making sure that I'm taking care of myself. So I was on top of it. So they said come every year. I went every year. And
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, the first couple of years, everything was fine. And then, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
it just started. I started getting bad mammograms and then callbacks and ultrasounds and things like that. So,
Okay. So, sorry. So you started getting your mammos early on because grandma was a nurse and you knew about self-care, or did you start getting them early on because the doctors were pushing you to because of your family history?
no, just because I am a certified hypochondriac. So I take on everybody else's diseases.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Okay.
so that's basically it. So again, it was just a matter of always, I screen now for everything. Just screen. If you tell me you got it, I'm gonna go find out, is it something I have. That's just, it's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing and a bad thing. So,
Yeah. Okay. And if you had to guess, how many mammograms, MRIs, biopsies, lumpectomies, and anything else, ultrasounds, all that good stuff, would you say that you had before the age of 50, since you started at 27?
all right. So, um, I'm gonna throw that right back over in your ball because the aunt ain't good at math. So 27 years, they started going bad about 35, and said so. Then I would get a mammogram annually, but then I would be called back, um, and have to have a second mammogram, that kind of more in-depth one, and then that would lead to further screening by ultrasound, and
Mm-hmm.
then that once or twice or 3 or 4 times led to further screening by some type of at the radiologist office, and then they would decide if I needed a biopsy. So I mean, from like about 35 to 50, I'd say 2 or 3 or 4 tests a year.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
That had to be emotionally taxing because I know as soon as I started getting mammos, it's kind of like you handed me the baton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through everything that you
And I went through.
have been going through.
Yeah.
And I know emotionally for me, it's been a lot. And I just started.
Well, like I told you back then, for me, I felt like I was living my life in 6 months increments from one mammogram and the results to the next. You hold your breath
Ugh.
for a week or two until you get your results, and the results come, and then they're not good, but they're not bad, But it's just you just holding your breath. It's again, it was quality of life that it was impacted terribly by it.
Yeah.
That I don't have similar issues where I have like a family history or anything, so I couldn't imagine I can't imagine how that feels. I know I'm here for Kim
Mm-hmm.
when she's going through her mammograms and her callbacks and biopsies and things like that, and it is stressful. So I couldn't imagine having to continuously go through that and just wait for the results, and you don't know, and 6 month living your life in 6 month increments.
Mm-hmm.
Get somebody else to do it. I don't.
I remember Aunt Lisa said, well, I got another 6 months to live. But you also told me before that you feel like you're playing Russian roulette and it isn't a matter of if, but a matter of when.
That's what it was. And for me, like I said, I did everything I was supposed to do, did all of the screening, all the tests, and the doctors were honest, and they were like, with your mother having it, it's most likely that you will. But hey, why don't you do the BRCA testing? I went, I did the whole genetic testing and everything. Guess what? It came back inconclusive. What does that mean? That
Oh.
means that you may get it and you may not. So I came out with the same odds and the chances that I had. So that's when I determined, honestly, it's in me, it's there. And I felt like it's just a ticking time bomb and it's a matter of when, not if, because of the percentages that they kept telling me. So
Did anybody else? Does anyone else, or did anyone else in your family, or did it start with your grandma?
well, as far as we know, it started with my mother, and then I have a cousin about my age who had it as well. She had breast cancer, and it's just something. It's just a constant fear hanging
But
over you. That's all.
I feel like even though our cousin is the only one with an actual diagnosis, there are a few of us who have fibrocystic breasts, who have breast disease, just very lumpy. There's just something going on, whether it's micro calcifications, whether it's a nodule, there's something going on.
Yeah, it would always come back benign, and that was one of the things. They tell you that you're supposed to do the breast self exam.
But you always find something.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do it because my breasts were too large. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because they were fibrous and dense.
You
Um,
did.
everything felt like a lump.
Yeah.
So I sent myself into a tizzy when I first started trying. So then my doctor was kind enough that she just did it for me every 6 months. Like I would go in, but so I didn't have that monthly breast exam that you're supposed to have. I didn't even have that.
I don't think we talk enough about this issue, right? I feel like we always talk about like breast cancer, which rightfully so, but the fear of like if you have a family history, or even if you just have like breast disease or the symptoms, and what before I got my breast reduction, even now, like I was just like you, I didn't like to do the exams on myself because like I'm feeling all types of lumps and bumps in there, and I don't know what's what. Next thing you know, I'm at the urgent care because I think I got something going on. Yeah,
anxiety is at all-time high. It was a lot.
No, it's very scary. It is. And I feel like I'm living in 6-month increments as well. I'm scheduled in October for another mammogram, another ultrasound, and for the first time ever, an MRI.
Right. Well, that's when it hit the fan for me with the MRIs. When the MRIs started happening, and the thing is that with the MRI, because my breasts were large, they couldn't do it at the same time. So I had to have one done one day and then come back like 20 days later and have another one. And so
it's face down.
Well, how large were these things?
Oh, Lisa's boobies were big. What is the biggest that they were, Lisa? Give me a number with a letter.
Say like 38 triple D. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were what?
I was like a J.
Okay. D.
They gone.
Mine was like an F. Yeah. Mine was like an F.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm saying it like I seen them. Like, yeah, that's about right.
No,
I didn't see them.
They were big. So being face down in a closed tube
was not a thing.
And they gave me, I had to have the anxiety medicine that they give me before I go in there because it was a lot.
When you have a family history, what is the age that they recommend to have your first mammogram?
Normally, it's 10 years prior to when they were diagnosed, right?
That's what they say. My doctors wanted me to start at 30, but of course I pushed and was like, I need a baseline before then. Because my mother was diagnosed. I don't have a lot of information, and that's the thing too. I don't necessarily know when.
Because you were 14.
Yeah.
What kind of breast cancer was it? I know back then they didn't really stress what type. Either you have breast cancer or you don't.
Right.
But
and
like
so,
what kind was it?
I don't know, but she had breast cancer and it turned into lung cancer.
And then it went
to the brain. Yes.
Yeah. which
Yeah,
is pretty
right.
common.
Yeah.
Right. And I know at one point she had a mastectomy. I was traumatized as a 12 or 13-year-old, whenever it happened. Because who wants to see their parent go through that? But
Yeah.
and it was a lot as you're trying to deal with teenage, stresses of life and stuff like that. And so yeah, it was just not something that I wanted to see myself go down that path at all. So
Yeah.
I just kept trying to avoid it because to me, at the end of the tunnel, this is my demise. This is what's going to happen to me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty scary.
To get the BRCA testing, are there certain qualifications you have to meet?
Yes, because my breast surgeon just told me that recently, and she said that I do meet them.
Yes.
Do you know what are they? Just for anybody watching.
She just asked me certain questions, but what is so crazy, Lisa, is that when she was asking me these questions, she said it's awful that they only really ask about Jewish women. They don't really take African American women into consideration during the questions.
What are they asking that's specific to Jewish women?
Are you Jewish?
And then what?
And then there's other questions like, has anyone in your immediate family ever had breast cancer? At what age were they diagnosed? Did they die? Like, what kind of cancer?
It's very in-depth because it's a whole package of papers, and then you have to go sit with a genetic counselor. And
so what she
blood work. Yeah, there's blood work and all kind of things.
So what she said is I'm on the cusp of meeting it.
From the screening question.
So she gave me her genetic counselor's information, and she said insurance probably won't cover it because it wasn't a definite yes for me. So she said maybe the counselor could make something happen where it would be covered because it's a very expensive test. I've heard some people say that it can be up to like $2,000.
I don't know. My insurance fortunately covered it for me
because
of my situation.
Yeah, genetically, there's reasons why they ask specific questions about like Jewish genealogy.
Yeah,
there's a whole thing.
She said, but it's awful because there's a high rate of African American women who get breast cancer as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it's like they don't take it into consideration. Jasmine and our friend who you also knew because you prayed on the phone with her, who died from breast cancer, Vanessa, yes.
Yeah.
What's so crazy is when she got diagnosed, she did the BRCA testing, and it came back negative.
Because I think for us, it's not so much genetic. That's why.
Right.
Yeah. For them, it really.
Because even when I got my results, they asked me for my cousin's results, and she had breast cancer. I've never had breast cancer. I'm just trying to run from it, and so my cousin sent me her results, and I sent that in to the genetic counselor, and she said there probably really was no link between hers and my mother, even though that's my mother's brother's daughter. They said it probably was nothing. And again, for it to come back for me and say totally that it's inconclusive,
that was a crazy result.
Right.
Genetics are wild. It's just like it has to match up between your father's genetics and your mother's genetics to make it more conclusive, I guess. So
I hated that
kind of
class
watered it down.
when I was in nursing school. I got an A, but it was so confusing to me, and it was so much to take in. I don't know how I got an A. Who I slept with.
I'm done.
Do you feel like you had to educate yourself early on about breast health because your mom died from breast cancer when you were 14?
Absolutely. And because, again, to me, I'm trying to understand what's going to happen to me because there was no doubt in my mind that was the path that I was going to take. So I wanted to know as much about it as possible.
But at what age did you feel like, because you were 14, right? So at 14, you are thinking about high school, dating, your friends, your boyfriend. You're not really thinking about, I'm going to die when I get older from breast cancer. At what age were you like?
No lie. Yes, I was.
Really?
I was going to say she probably was thinking about that.
Really?
Because her mom just died. So she was probably thinking, well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it started then. It
So
started then.
you
Yeah.
so you started educating yourself early on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Um, did you find yourself having to be your own advocate a lot? Like, do you feel like some doctors were like, wait until you're this, wait until you're that, and you were like, no, this is what we are gonna do because this is what I want done.
At
I
27.
think
Yeah.
I think I had some pretty good doctors. My family practice doctor was OBGYN too. Um,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
so I felt heard. They heard me and they
That's
took me
good.
seriously. Nobody ever brushed me off or brushed off my concerns. They didn't.
No gaslighting or anything.
Nothing. And because I came in there educated about
Mhm.
what it was, and the facts spoke for themselves. This is it's not something I'm making up. This is my mother. She passed away. This was the history. This is what I'm dealing with. These things help me. I can't and,
Mhm.
and so like I said, they really wanted me to start about 30, but to alleviate some of my anxieties, they did the baseline a little bit earlier. I feel like also I started my menstruation
You was
earlier.
like 3.
I was shut up.
Not 3.
I
She was young.
Not
but
6 months removed and 3. How you said 8?
10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was 10. And those were some of the things as I was going through and educating myself. Those were some of the things where they say, are reasons that you get it earlier. You know, that
Yeah,
that that if you get it earlier,
to
there's a
make
higher
you
chance.
more of a risk.
Higher chance, right? The risk is
Hmm. Damn, we can't catch a break nowhere.
Started from birth. Yeah. Um, have you researched options and things if you want to like take a different path with these boobs?
I looked at everything again. What do they call it?
What?
Prophylactic
Mhm.
mastectomies. I looked at, medications nowadays. Um, I do have some
Wait,
friends,
medications for what?
Yeah.
medications, I guess you could say like herbal stuff, things like
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
things like that. I did look into that, because one of my brothers was big. The minute that my mother died, he bought this great big thing of vitamins, and we all started taking them because if you take this, you won't get cancer. You know,
Was it butch? That sounds very, very butch.
it
Okay.
was, if you take this, you won't get cancer. And so things like that. I did look into that. Um, I looked into my doctor, every time there's like it's the lumpectomy, it's the this, it's all kind of things that can help you. But I do know some people who have had breast cancer and beat it. It sounds like, technology is getting better as science is progressing
And they
and
are catching it earlier too.
catching it earlier. And so it's not so much the death sentence. It seems like that it was, but
Mhm.
I can't get that out of my head
Yeah.
because it's my reality. This is my reality. What's working for everybody else is not. So yes, I researched every alternative. How long can I go with these um, you know high level screenings? Because
Mhm.
how many MRIs can you have?
I know.
Yeah.
That you know how long do I want to keep dealing in that tube? And bottom line is the answer is I want to live. I want to live, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes or whatever. I'm not afraid to do. I wasn't afraid to look at any options. There wasn't anything that was off the table. Like I said, if I knew that I was going to have arm cancer, I would cut off my arm. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
they titties. That's it. So I want to live.
And you technically don't need it.
Right. What are you doing?
Boobs are just for breastfeeding.
Right. And I didn't do that. So, but anything that's gonna help me to live, I'm gonna explore.
Mhm.
Now you going through your issues, you have looked into the prophylactic. Uh,
Mastectomy.
yeah.
Mhm. I want them off. And
they won't do it.
Pretty much, my breast surgeon said that I have to build more of a case. First of all, she said I have to build more of a case, and no insurance company is going to pay for it right now, just because I'm saying my grandmother had breast cancer and I want them off. Right. But I have it on both sides of my family, on my mother's side and my father's side. So,
but like I told you, after a couple of more years of that high level screening, they will start to consider you for something like that a little bit more.
Yeah. I want them off.
Seriously. They'll take you seriously a little bit more. And there's so many different options now. Like I said, I did research. There's something called a deep flap where, and I don't know what it stands for, but they take part of your stomach and
they take
what? Go ahead, nurse. Take it, nurse. What did they?
Yes, please, because I'm curious.
They pretty much take fat from your stomach or from wherever, and they can build breasts.
Oh,
yeah, so that you don't have to get implants. But I don't have no fat, so I would be online for implants.
I could give you some money.
But they could take it from anywhere, Kim. They could take it from your butt. You always say you got a big butt.
Lisa, where is fat? Where's fat coming from?
I said you said it. I don't think so.
I said I have a big butt?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No?
No.
Yeah, maybe that's Corey.
Sorry. Corey could give me some from her, but I don't have fat on me, so I'd be online for breast implants. So I would have to research breast implants. But then my biggest fear is breast implant illness,
which we're talking about next. But
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been walking around my whole life like I had a bilateral mastectomy anyway. I mean, do I really need boobs?
Girl, bye. No, you haven't.
Do I really need boobs? I don't know.
Yeah, because I think a misconception is that if you feel like, okay, you're going through all this stuff, you could just go and be like, take them. And it's not that easy.
Unless you're going to pay cash for the surgery, for the OR time, for the PACU. Unless you got like a good $75,000 to $100,000. It's not an option like that.
It's not.
No, there's a certain road that you have to travel. And all that you can do is pray that while you're on this road,
that nothing comes
slicing and dicing, that nothing happens, that you don't actually end up getting breast cancer. Why do we have to wait? Why can't it just be a prophylactic procedure that is actually covered?
That's elective, right?
Yeah. So like when Angelina Jolie went and got hers done, I'm sure she paid for that.
Yeah. Kelly Bundy.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. All these people got coins.
They just want to live. You want to live. That's what you got to choose. You choose life.
And then another thing is people have the misconception that when you get a bilateral mastectomy that you can't get breast cancer, but you actually can. It's just that when you get that done, it decreases your chances by about 95%. But they can never get all of the breast tissue, right? There's still a little bit of breast tissue there that can cause some drama. So sometimes people do get it done, and then under their breast implants, eventually they'll get breast cancer. But most people don't. So that's another misconception that people have, that, okay, I'm safe because I took these bad boys off. No, you are not 100% safe, but you're 95% safe.
I know men can also get breast cancer, but sheesh, they don't have to go through all this. I mean, it's like,
when I was getting my mammogram, there was a guy waiting in the waiting area. He was there to get a mammo as well, but they just didn't want to sit him back there with all of us because we're just in a gown with no bra on. Yeah.
Aww.
He said that he was there for his 6-month mammo.
Okay, Fred, he got recalled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, men can definitely get it too. It's very, very scary, and it sucks. Yeah. It really does suck. Aunt Lisa, do you have any advice for anyone who might be dealing with any type of breast disease or who feels like they're hanging by a thread?
Or living in 6-month increments?
Living in 6. AKA, do you have any advice for me? This right here describes me.
Yeah.
The same advice that I would tell you is just you have to stay on top of the screenings. Have a good relationship with your healthcare provider so that they take you seriously. Just follow all of the timelines because it can turn into a bad situation so quick, and that's what you don't want. That's what you don't want.
Yeah.
And what do I tell you all the time? Main thing is stay prayed up, girl. Keep your good prayer warriors and stay prayed up. And just follow that. You're helpless in this situation. You're helpless. There's nothing you can do. I can't talk you off that ledge when you're on it, when it's time to have that. I mean,
Yeah, even though you try, you and
I try.
Jasmine.
I try because it's real and it's your feelings and it's your fear, you know. But just keep the faith and again, just stay plugged in to, your medical professions. Get you a good breast surgeon. That's what you need because that's the person that is the specialist on the breast and they know how to move you through the different levels of what you're going through and the different testing and the different screening and things like that. So just got to partner up and just hang on and strap on for the ride because it's a ride. It's a journey.
And you know I don't like rides.
You do.
I don't like any type of ride. Well, there's some type of rides I like, but I don't like rides. I don't like rides where I got to strap on.
Right.
And anything else that you have for the aunt? Any closing arguments? Anything?
Arguments?
Whatever.
Definitely no closing arguments, but thank you for sharing your story and your journey. Very enlightening for me, at least, because I'm about to start, I guess, getting mammals at some point soon, which I'm not looking forward to, but something we have to do.
Have you ever had one, Jazz?
Nope, never had one.
It's not a very nice experience.
Not
but
heard.
You know what? It's just as bad as the pap smear. You know, they just
No, I think it's worse than the pap.
Oh, really?
It depends on
what because the pap is quick.
Nah, but I'm talking about the speculum and all of that. That archaic technology. You know, it's one thing the size of your breast when you have a mammogram. Kim, it's probably a killer for you because mine. I would just throw it up on the thing like lunch meat on the counter at the deli. Just throw it up there and they smash it, lean in a little bit more and stuff like that. So it's not that it's still bad for when you have bigger breasts, but it's the little girls that I worry about.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know what I am right now. So
you're average now.
Yeah. So
you should be fine. Yeah. Aunt Lisa, thank you so much for being our first guest.
Well, thank you for taking my podcast virginity, and look out for the new podcast called The Aunt that I'm probably going to do now that I feel more comfortable.
The Aunt, I love it. The people's aunt.
No, you are not. You are a mess. You said now that you feel more comfortable.
I can't.
Now that I'm a podcast aficionado.
I can't. You love it so much. Well, just don't forget to have us on your podcast.
Right.
I promise. You guys are doing a great job. I watch you every week. Thank you so much for all that you're giving to us. Knowledge. I run and I do the things that you say. I check my tests and I'm an advocate for myself. You guys are on point and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for always supporting us.
Always.
Putting us on the TV, the big screen.
Yes, y'all. She watches us on the big screen. The aunt don't play. She don't watch no laptop or no phone. We're on a big screen TV.
Yeah.
So
she on TV.
I
love it.
That is actually getting us ready for our TV show.
Yep.
Put it into the universe, aunt.
It's there. Hallelujah. All right, thanks, girl. Bye.
All right, love you, aunt.
Bye.
All right, well, that was pretty good having an aunt on.
Yes.
She was our first guest. We got to talk about real stuff.
We did.
And
anything you want to add to it and going through the journey? I really second what she said about getting a good breast surgeon.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think yours is phenomenal.
That's why I did that extensive research to get the one that I have.
Yes,
she really is phenomenal.
She is kind. She is smart.
And she's young too. She's younger than me. She's young. And a lot of people don't like young doctors because they're like, oh, they're inexperienced.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, when I read all those reviews for her and then with the others that had been practicing more than 20 plus years, it was her who was on top. And with the infection rates, hers was the lowest.
Oh, okay.
with like the post-op infection rate.
Was
So
that because she only did 2 surgeries? No,
you
we find out it was
are
because she only did 2 surgeries.
no.
1%.
And then also what else did I research? Lawsuits against her.
Ooh, okay.
I
You
couldn't
find any?
find any.
That's because she just got here.
No, she's been doing it for like 8-9 years.
Okay, all right. No, but seriously, she has excellent bedside manner from what I can tell.
And I referred her to one of my friend's cousins. She actually had breast cancer. She gave her a mastectomy. Right? She removed the breast and she called me to thank me. She was like, oh my God, this doctor was amazing. She was like, the way she treated me like a human and not like a patient.
It was human. Like a human.
Jeez. Yeah.
The bar is low, folks. It's in hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously though.
So no, it's very important to have a good healthcare team all across the board, not just for breast, but you need to have good doctors, good dentists, people that you trust, people who are reputable, people who will keep you safe and keep you aware and who will listen to you when you vent about something. When you tell a doctor something, you don't want them to gaslight you.
Brush you off. Yeah.
Like, oh, you are only 26. You don't have to worry about that. No, you do have to worry about it.
Find a new doctor if you hear that.
Yeah, you do have to worry about it because a good doctor will say, hey, let's do these tests. Let's do these screenings. Let's see what's going on.
They'll give you all of your options to make you feel the most comfortable.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess that we can wrap it up. We're pretty much done here.
Yeah, that was nice and quick and...
Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it and you finally got to meet my aunt Lisa. And she's actually Jasmine's aunt too now because all of my close friends, she becomes their aunt. So
she really is. And she's definitely been there for me.
She's supportive.
Through a lot of my life. And
she will pray with you. She will pray for you.
Mm-hmm.
The Aunt Lisa she do not play. Okay?
She don't.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Tune in for more snitching.
Bye.